adding a rubric, you can create a rubric from scratch, reuse a rubric once you've already created it through Classroom, or import one from Sheets. That can be a little tricky. I'll get to that later. For now, let's create a rubric from scratch. Like most rubrics, Google Classroom's rubric is organized by criteria. Put the title of your first criterion here. You can put a description if you'd like. The level boxes correspond to the horizontal boxes on a typical paper rubric. So you would begin with the highest number or the lowest number of points possible, the title of that level, and then a description of what the student would need to do in order to score that number of points within that criterion. By clicking the plus icon, you can add additional levels. You can copy and paste descriptions from a doc or from a spreadsheet. And then you add the next criterion. You can also duplicate this criterion and just change the title and descriptions. And you can continue to add criterion as needed. When you're ready, click Save. You may want to adjust the total number of points for this assignment to match your rubric. If you were to assign this task at this point, students would need to submit something or click Turn in order for you to use the rubric while grading. If you would prefer that students not have to click Turn in, or if they are submitting something non-digitally, then you can go ahead and add instructions or even a blank file, making a copy for each student. Then click Assign. Now, when you go to grade the assignment, you can click on each student's work, which, if they've submitted it digitally, will show up here. Or if they've submitted it on paper, you would have that copy in front of you. And go over here to Grading. Your rubric now shows up on the sidebar. You can click on the arrow to see the description of each level, or you can leave it collapsed and simply hover over the boxes and select a level that way. You can add your private comments and then select Post. Another option is to open your rubric completely in a new window and you get a fuller picture. So what if you want to use a rubric that you've already created? When you go to Rubric, you can click Reuse Rubric, and it will list all of the rubrics you've created. You can select or preview. Please notice you can also use rubrics that you've created in other classes. Another option is to import from Sheets. This can be a little tricky. If I were to select a rubric that I've already created, it may not sync properly. A rubric that is formatted in such a way that it would sync with Google Classroom is actually not user-friendly. Although certainly doable, it can be tedious, and you may just wish to recreate the rubric directly in Classroom. As for the Oldham County Schools District Writing Plan, I have formatted that for you. Take the link directly from the Tuesday Tech Tip slide, add to your drive, and now you can import the Oldham County Writing rubric directly from Sheets. Although it feels complicated, once you've tried it, it actually feels intuitive. I know this tool will be incredibly useful for you, so I would like you to take full advantage of it. Don't be afraid to ask questions or just stop by. I'd love to help.